See, I make all the noise too. And we are live, guys. Welcome back to Velocity Movies in Review, starting back up after a little hiatus. If you haven't checked out the last 6 episodes that we have already, we did Lord of the Rings extended editions in 2 parts each because 4 or 5 hour movies is just a little too much. But we're back. We're starting Pirates of the Caribbean, the entire franchise. And I'm really excited.
I watched it twice in the last 24 hours. No big deal.
You have?
Yeah.
I went through today, and I made like a note sheet. It's like 5 pages of going through the movie.
Okay.
Damn.
Also, if you move that a little closer to you.
Is that better?
That's a little better, yeah.
You didn't whisper, bro.
Joining us for this franchise, Michaela Dodson has been on the Velocity Proper show before, but it's our first time on Movies in Review, and I'm led to believe that you haven't seen a lot of these, right?
I only really remember the first. Well, I remember like a little bit of Dead Man's Chest too, but other than that, I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
See, I wanted to do this with somebody that's never seen them, so that like we can get that like unbiased opinion without the nostalgia. So you can be like, "This sucks." Like,
I just did not have the fucking attention span for those movies when I was younger. No, not that I'm older, it's different, but like, I just
Definitely some of my favorite movies. Up until, well, we'll get there, but up until like the last couple.
yeah, don't spoil anything in the future.
Just saying. I like those ones. These ones better.
The first 3, because it kind of turns into a soft reboot, doesn't it? I think, or something.
Not necessarily
we'll
soft
get
reboot.
there, but
The characters are in it. There's other characters that have bigger roles.
you know what? Let me open this chat here. Anyway, so Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl, June 28th, 2003. Had a budget of $140 million and a worldwide return of $654 million. That's worldwide, granted.
Yeah.
But I'd say it did pretty alright for itself. What were your guys' kind of just initial thoughts about the first movie here?
Well, like
Pressure.
I said, when I rewatched it, because the first time I'd seen it, I was younger, and it was a while ago.
Are you the same age as both of us?
Well,
20, I'm 29.
I'm 27.
27, okay.
I had to think about that.
So I was saying we were 11 when it came out. She was 9. So that makes a little more sense as to why I didn't get you.
I'll have you know that I'm 28, you old man. So I was 9 or 8.
10.
You were
10.
10.
You know what? I don't.
We're good at reviewing movies. We're not
I
doing
don't
math.
read math
Quick
good. I don't read math good.
But from where I got to, like while it's fresh in my mind, like I told you, I got to the part where Elizabeth gets taken by the pirates on the Black Pearl, and then Will and Jack are just like, fuck. So
That's a quote.
Was that
from the movie?
from the movie?
Will's like, I gotta go get that pussy.
That's
Jack's like, I gotta get
It's
my
kinda-
shit, so let's link up, bro. Like,
Yeah. Now, when I was a kid, I remember a lot more like sexual tension between like Johnny Depp and Keira Knightley too. But then rewatching it, it's not there.
it's not.
But I like distinctly remember as a kid being like, "Oh, these two are about to fucking
Well,
get it on,
it's
dude."
Yeah.
if you focus on Jack, like the faces he makes there, he's like like that, but she's always just looking like. So it's like depending on who you focus on, it's either there or it's really not. Because I noticed that during the scene when he's like,
that's
got
like Johnny
her.
Depp's thing, though. He's
Yeah. Like when he's got her and he's got like the chain around her and he's like, get my stuff for me or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He's like making face at her and she's just like, I fucking hate you.
Well, that's just supposed to be the I guess I refer more to as like the rum scene when they're drinking on the beach.
Well, even then,
And
it's
like
like,
they're drunk, obviously, but she's kind of like cuddled up to him or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, the company's way better this time." And she's like, "Whoa, back up." I haven't had enough rum for that.
Can you imagine how bad he smells, dude?
That's what I was saying. There's only one person in the whole movie. Like, it's the governor, right?
Yeah.
The dad.
Because he does the thing with his hands, but then when he's talking to people, he's like,
He like
he
comes
gets like
right
this
up
into their face.
right up in their
Yeah.
face, and he's the only character that goes like
Yeah.
reacts to his breath, and I'm like, his breath has got to be horrible.
Yeah.
You would think just rum and
Fake teeth and rum.
gingivitis, the true pirate's enemy,
Gingivitis.
plaque buildup, periodontist disease.
Ew.
Gross.
Yucky.
What did you think?
Of?
The movie in general.
I love it. Not my favorite out of the 5, but I love it.
Your favorite out of the 5. So I haven't seen the last 2.
A lot of people didn't. There's 5.
There's 5?
Yeah.
Oh, you just said that.
Yeah, because it's
Gonna
Curse of
be
the Black
6.
Pearl, Dead Man's Chest,
Yes.
At World's End, On Stranger Tides, and then
Dead Man Tell No Tales.
Dead Man Tell No Tales.
And there's gonna be a new one
What?
without Johnny Depp with
What?
Margot Robbie. Everybody fired Johnny Depp because of all,
Yeah, but fucking Amber Turd, dude. Fuck that.
Yeah, I was going to
bitch.
just say it, on this podcast, we would also like to say fuck Amber Heard twice.
Yeah. Amber Turd.
Amber
Get
Turd
it
is
right.
definitely
Amber
the-
Turd, because she's a fucking turd.
Yeah. Nope. We've been through the ringer. We
It
figured
just
out
sucks that she's in so many of my favorite movies.
we figured out that in the Snyder cut of the Justice League, Steppenwolf's actually the good guy because he's trying to choke out Mira. So we
Big facts. Big facts. We were midway through the movie and he was just like, he's not that bad of a villain anymore. And I'm like, what? And he's just like choking her underwater. And I was like, oh, I see.
and he like slams her up
Yeah.
against the wall and like really starts choking her. I was like,
Should've
God,
just
man, I wish
gives her the
Aquaman
business.
wasn't a thing because like she could go right now. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right, I did find some facts. Also, credit where credit's due. This movie was directed by Gore Verbinski.
Gore Verbinski.
I don't know who that guy is. I don't know anything else he's done, but that's who did this movie.
I'm trying to think of.
Did he?
Motorcycles on our end.
I was about to say. Bye.
What were you saying?
I thought it was somebody else. Like, why did I? Oh, was it? I thought it was Jerry Bruckheimer.
It's Bruckheimer Studios.
Oh,
I think
Did he
he.
direct all of the Pirates movies?
I don't know. I definitely don't think he did the last 2.
No, to be decided. I'll make sure I update the director with everyone. But
For some reason, I guess I'm so you see him named Bruckheimer and everything that I thought it was kind of just his thing.
right. So I also have some facts
Yeah.
that I'll sprinkle in as we talk about the movie here.
It's gonna be like Aragorn and his toe.
Fun fact
Fun
about
fact.
that. No, we'll start off. Talk a little bit about the movie. I'll sprinkle facts in as we talk about characters that have facts.
Where we start?
We open in the Wild West of the ocean, I assume.
The Wild West of the Ocean.
The Wild West of the ocean.
It was actually the crossing from England to the Caribbean.
And I'll have you know that I wrote these jokes like from my head, so if you don't laugh at some of them, I'll be personally offended. Like,
Noted. Straight face.
good. Bye.
Straight face.
Oh, fuck off.
Bye, rude.
Yeah.
So a young girl's looking out, singing over the water, a pirate song, which if you don't know by now, you will in about 15 seconds. Is horribly bad luck. We talked for a minute about how the young Elizabeth wants to get it on with pirates like bad, but she's too young now, so we have to wait until the plot advances a little further. Soon a young boy seen floating. We bring him up onto the shore. It's Will Turner. He's on a door. This door's not very big. Sorry, Leo. He probably wouldn't fit on this one. They bring him on the shore. Elizabeth is charged with protecting him as they see the rest of the wreckage. Wakes up long enough to tell her that his name is Will Turner, and passes back out before she steals his bling.
Thank goodness that was his only line in the movie because it was terrible.
That boy?
That's all he says and he passes back out. Thank goodness that was all he had to say. The worst
Should've just
8-year-old
fucking
actor
knocked
ever. Yeah.
So we fast forward to Elizabeth as an adult. She's waking up from a bad dream where I imagine she's Queen Amidala's stunt double. She rolls out of bed, still wearing Legolas's bling, may I remind you.
Facts.
Then hides it in her shirt before her dad just kind of breaks in with no warning.
Yeah, are you decent? Opens the door while
Dude,
he
we
says
really
that?
we really need to give our ladies a little bit more time before we just come break into the room.
Yeah.
Dad.
And also, it's I couldn't tell what's going on in your room, so let me just whip your curtain open so we can light it up in here, because I don't care what you were doing.
He gives her a dress as a gift with a corset that's a little too tight, but she squeezes into it nonetheless. Wondering what the occasion is, but what is it? I forget his
there's
name.
like a
Norrington.
Opinion from over here.
What?
Have you worn a corset before?
Oh, yes.
Are they terrible?
Yeah.
Now also just factor in holding a medallion right here as they cinch it on you. Would that just be the worst?
Do you think the medallion would...
Okay.
Sit this way, because if it's that flat, that would just be death.
So I wear waist trainers sometimes, right? Basically corsets. You get anything between your skin and that fucking corset, dude, that is gonna be imprinted in your fucking skin.
Hey, that'd be a pretty cool imprint. I mean, it's a skull and crossbones.
I can't imagine with that tight ass tied corset like that. Mine's just a button one.
Didn't somebody put their foot on her back?
Yeah.
I was that's probably pretty tight then. Yeah.
No, and I didn't put it in my facts because I really didn't care, but apparently Keira Knightley had to stuff her shirts because she was 17 at the time of filming this movie and had
No
nothing,
boobs.
no boobs.
Yeah.
So they stuffed her shirts with stuff.
She was dude.
17.
She looked like a fucking 28-year-old lady. When
Yeah,
she
she
was
looks
17.
really old, but she was 17 filming this movie and 18 at the release. So.
And here when I was younger, I thought I had a crush on older ladies. Why was that wrong?
I always thought she was older too.
Dude, same.
Yeah,
Kind of
Makes me
upsetting.
wonder what she looks like now.
she's
Makes
in
some kind of sense though, because if you think about it, she doesn't really make out with anybody until the next movie.
No, she makes out with Will at the end of this one.
Does she? Gross. Well, no.
How old
With
is
Orlando
Bloom's
Bloom?
Orlando Bloom.
He's
at
a
the time of
pedophile
this
now.
film. I mean, this is after
Cancelled.
This is after Lord of the Rings, so he's got to be. I mean, probably almost 30. You would think. Making out with a 17-year-old. Canceled.
Well, him and Amber Heard are canceled now. Sorry, dude.
Well, I'm here to say that Orlando Bloom has kind of just been canceled for a while. I don't mean to be a jerk, but hasn't really been in much. So,
That's true.
So Norrington is being promoted to Commodore, and Elizabeth needs to look beautiful for this, for reasons that we don't know yet. Downstairs, Orlando Bloom enters the estate. He's got a case, opens it up for the governor, whose name is Weatherby Swan.
Is he really Weatherby?
Mm-hmm.
Did not know that.
That's his name. He shows him the sword inside. Governor tells him to commend his boss on the awesome work. We're led to believe that, it's our boy that did it, not his boss, but we don't know that yet. So Elizabeth comes down and she's hot, dude. The heat between these two is palpable.
Hey,
it is
easy. She's 17.
That's how they rolled back then, baby.
Arranged marriages at 14.
They head off to the ceremony, and then I think after they head off to the ceremony, we get introduced to Johnny Depp, right? He comes sailing into town on the
The
ship.
sinking ship.
Jumps off of the sail, it's sinking. He tries to bucket it out a little bit. It doesn't do anything.
Dude, he didn't even jump off that. He literally timed that so perfectly. He literally was just like...
But he gets
step
back
out
up
of
on top and it sinks as he gets to the dock. It's slick as shit. I love it.
Yeah.
It's
I like how they still tried to charge him to.
Yeah.
It's like there's no ship to dock.
what does he say? Shekels? Isn't it?
Shillings.
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 Shekels.
What is this?
The shilling to tell you about it. He goes, how about 2 shillings? And
from
forget the
Rick,
name.
is that from Rick and Morty? I think
That's
that's from Rick and Morty.
Schmeckles.
Schmeckles.
I
I was
thought
gonna
no, Shuckle is a Pokemon.
Shuckle's a Pokemon.
Did I give you my shiny?
Yeah, because I named one of them Shuckle and then
A shiny
Shuckleberry. I named it. I named my regular Shuckle Shuckleberry.
What's a shiny Shuckle look
It's
like?
blue.
It's blue.
Oh.
But my regular Shuckle is Shuckleberry, and then my shiny Shuckle is Finn. So, together, Shuckleberry Finn.
I see what you did. That's cute. Okay, I like it.
Oh my god.
This is where Jack walks up to the two dudes that are guarding the Dauntless.
No, they're guarding the Interceptor. The Dauntless is the real big one offshore. But yeah, he tells them he wants to commandeer it. I think he straight up tells him that. He's like, I'm looking to commandeer it, and it's like, he tries serious.
He tries to like play them against each other for a little bit. Like,
oh yeah, he's like, why aren't you at the ceremony? You're not important enough.
He's like, this is the fastest ship. This is the fastest ship in the port.
I've heard of one.
We need to guard it because it's the fastest ship in the port. And he's like, man, it's not faster than Black Pearl. He's like, it's the fastest real ship. And then they argue about whether the Black Pearl is real or not as he sneaks on to the...
Yeah, after they're done arguing, they're just like, so what I was saying is... and he's up there just...
I love him,
right?
dude. I love him, dude. I'm blaming you for that.
wasn't me.
No, it was me.
In your face.
Meanwhile, the ceremony's going well. Norrington gets his new sword. Everybody appears to be having a good time, except for clearly Elizabeth, who is dying.
Yeah.
She's visibly having trouble, and nobody seems to care. The Commandant pulls her aside to do
chest
what?
hurts and she can't breathe.
To do what? Propose, of course. Duh.
What a shitty proposal, by the way. Like, oh, hey, yeah,
So, like, and we don't know the specifics of this, but we were talking about it because, like, in the opening scene of the movie, Norrington's there and she's a little girl. And then all of a sudden it's like, she's grown up and he's like the same and he's proposing. And I'm like, how much time has passed here? Like, did she go from like 12 to 17? Or is she like 8 and like 20 now because he didn't age at all?
Right, and that's why I assume in the very next part of this scene, instead of answering him, she decides to take a header off the side of the cliff.
yeet. No? Like,
I would really very much like to marry you, and I'm just going to yeet myself over the
Right
side.
down, dude, right down. She falls into the rocks. He's going to go after her, but it's a miracle she missed the rocks, let alone the Commandant. So I guess, bye. What?
And we
When
cut
you
back
run
to Jack.
all the way around. Like,
Cuts
what
back
do
to
you-
Jack as she's falling. It cuts to Jack, and he's just like, and then they made me their chief. Right as she hits the water.
Don't forget that the coin, when it hits the water, like activates.
Yeah, like does
Yeah.
the thing.
Like hitting the ocean activates it or something, so like all the clouds come rolling in and stuff. It's super dope. Super dope way of filming that. The handsome dude with the dreadlocks, we don't know who it is yet. They haven't said his name yet. He's just Smith, or Smithy, if you'd like. Dives in to save her, pulls her out, cuts the corset off. What is he like? What did he say? He's like,
somebody's like, I never thought of that. And
I
he's
never would
like,
have thought of that. And he's
You've
like,
never been to Tortuga.
yeah. Or it wasn't Tortuga, it was something else.
Oh, Singapore.
Singapore, yeah.
Singapore, yeah.
Clearly never been to Singapore.
I didn't understand that joke.
It actually, like, it doesn't really hold well anymore because Singapore is a super strict country now.
Oh.
Like, they, like, torture people for, like, spitting gum out on the ground. So it's like, oh, you see Singapore in these movies and you're like, it's not like that at all anymore.
Yeah. So basically, we get up out of the water, stand her up, and then reveal that he's a pirate. We pull his sleeve up, he's got a brand. Pull his sleeve up a little further, he's got a sparrow tattoo. It's the famous pirate Jack Sparrow. Captain Jack Sparrow. Captain Jack Sparrow. He is revealed to be Captain Jack Sparrow, the worst pirate they've ever heard of. But they have heard of him. But they never heard of him. So that's a thing. He's being arrested, but grabs Elizabeth, throws the rope or chain around her neck, backs up to get all his stuff put back on him. He makes her do it. It's hot. It's the heat.
For him, it's hot. For her,
She's like,
never been more disgusted. Also, you know,
And let me tell you, you can cut the sexual tension with a knife.
my favorite thing is, like, you can tell how uninterested she is because when it comes to Will, he's like, oh, Miss Turner. She's like, oh, call me Elizabeth. But with him, he's like, oh, Elizabeth. She's like, call me Miss Turner. Complete opposite. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cute.
Call me Miss Swan.
Oh yeah, Swan. I'm so used to her being Turner because she lies throughout half the movie, but whatever.
She does. She lies to Barbosa, but puts all of his stuff back on before delivering one of the dopest lines in the movie. You'll remember this as the day you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow before flying off into the air and doing some super dope shit, spinning around
like,
for a
how
minute.
did he know that was going to, like, I don't know.
He's got to be the best pirate I've ever seen, so I'm here to say.
Never been to that town before. He just knew that was...
I love it because he's spinning and he's like
yelling
as they're shooting at him. He's like, ah!
The choreography
so funny,
in that
dude.
part is actually really good, though. He's just like fucking dancing around up there and shit.
Oh, it's so funny. But yeah, he eventually gets away, steals a sword from a statue, and then pops into the blacksmith shop to find the blacksmith passed out drunk. I like that part too because he like pokes him and then he's like, ah! It doesn't do anything. So he brands the donkey to get the gears started, pops his cuffs, and then he's interrupted by Will Turner, who comes in and he hides, and he's like, yeah, you're right where I left you, but not the hammer. Hammer's in a different spot. Mm-hmm. Then he sees his hat, goes to grab it, and
gets a little sword slap on the wrist.
Slaps him with his sword, and don't touch his hat, man.
Yeah, you don't touch that hat.
I'll buy you a hat. A big one. They get to talking a little bit. I really love this whole sequence, dude. Like, where am I at here? He's interrupted by Will Turner, so after some cute dialogue, we learn that Will really just doesn't like pirates, and Jack Sparrow is super lucky that he doesn't have a bow and arrow, in my opinion.
Or blonde hair.
Or blonde hair. So after a super dope fight, like
they really got after it. I'll give them that.
like really good.
It's just the best part is when he's got like the steel thing that's on fire, and then he's got just a sword, and there's the sparks and all that. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, they fight for a bit. He throws some dirt in his face, which is actually another fun fact. Cocoa powder. It's not real dirt.
Oh.
They didn't throw dirt in Orlando Bloom's face. Weird enough. You cheated. Oh, well, pirate. He asks him to move because he's pointing his gun at him, but there's only one shot in it.
Special gun with only one shot.
Special gun with only one shot in it. He's like, please move. The shot isn't for you. He's like, nah, dude, that's cool. He's knocked unconscious by the blacksmith. Knocks his bottle over the back of his head, knocks him out.
His drunk boss that keeps getting the credit for everything.
Everything. And he does, too. He's like, oh, well done, blacksmith. He's like, I'm just dirty.
Yeah. Tell the Commodore you're welcome for the sword that I didn't make also.
Yeah, pretty much. So he wakes up in a prison cell next to a bunch of guys trying to coerce a dog that's holding the keys.
So you got to say that part faster because the way you said that right away was you're trying to coerce a dog.
Coerce a dog. Coerce a dog. And let me tell you, the sexual tension here is thick.
He was waiting that butthole. Just...
Good Lord. I think it's an awesome way to kind of mentally torture everybody in the jail cell. Just give it to a dog and they'll never come over. Come. Next we cut to Elizabeth, who's being tucked into her bed, putting hot coals under her blanket, which seems pretty dangerous to me. I don't know. It's like a copper bed pot.
Bed warmer.
I don't know. It just seems like...
It's a foot warmer.
Seems real dangerous to me.
Hey, well, when we get to that part, it helped her later.
Yeah, I guess. But, I mean, you burn your little 17-year-old toesies, and then what? And then you...
Little 17-year-old toesies. I hate it here.
Outside, we see the clouds continue to roll as a black ship rises up from the water. The commandant and governor are standing outside, kind of talking. When he's like, "What's that sound?" That's cannon strike. So he dives over to protect him, and good Lord, I shouldn't have looked at the chat.
Who's in the chat?
John Morrell. He's like, hey, have you guys seen Candace in this movie? It's not gonna work.
My stepmom's name is Candace.
Oh,
It's not gonna
is
work.
it now?
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna work.
I'm not gonna do it.
No.
I don't want to do it. I want to.
It's
For real though, her name is Candace. Everybody's always just like, too easy.
too easy.
Yeah.
So the city's being attacked. Cannons are firing all over the place as pirates start to storm the Port Royal. Jack Sparrow recognizes those cannons as the Black Pearls. Orlando Bloom comes out of his blacksmith shop to see a pirate chasing a young woman, and he stone cold throws an axe into this dude's back, presumably killing him. Hopefully.
It's Disney, who knows?
You never know, man. You never know. The pirates chase Elizabeth throughout the house, but when she hides, it's revealed that they're actually after the coin. The bling that she stole from Legolas.
We just refer to it as bling for the rest of the show.
Bling.
I prefer bling.
So when they find her in the closet, she calls for a parlay. The bald dude really loves parlays, but it essentially means you have to be taken to the captain to negotiate. I don't know. I don't want to say peace, but some sort of.
Basically, just means don't kill me till I talk to your captain.
Essentially,
yeah.
That's what parlay means. So Will continues to fight when he notices that Elizabeth is being taken. He attempts to go after her, but
no awareness, gets hit in the back of the head. Grow up,
it's I don't like it.
You know, there's pirates around. You gotta keep your head on a swivel,
He
right?
Idiot.
He barely taps him with it. It's like a bing, and he's like.
Also, like we've seen a lot of people knocked out, you know, with our fighting stuff. They always get up, you know, 15, 20 seconds later. Dude wakes up the next day.
Next morning.
Like, dude.
Who's knocked out for that long, dude?
Nobody ever. It's a movie thing.
Ridiculous. So
in
in the prison cell, a cannon hits the side of the wall, which opens up the cell next to Jack Sparrow. They're like, dude, you got terrible luck. Sorry, bro. And they leave him there.
They peace out.
He snatches up the bone to try and get the dog to come over, and it kind of works until the pirates come down the stairs and scare the dog off. And he's like, no.
Yeah, and the one Will.I.am looking pirate, he's real mean.
Oh, yeah. So, I really like that line, too. They see Jack, and they're like, wow, you're supposed to be dead. And he's like, worry about your own fortunes, gentlemen. The deepest circle of hell is reserved for betrayers and mutineers. He says before they like reach in and grab him.
Skeleton arm.
Oh, it's dope.
What could that be?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bizarre.
So, they leave him.
Yeah, I was looking to see if I had any facts here, but I don't.
I was wondering why nobody was saying anything after he said that. I was like,
We just really like that
We
part.
really like that line so much we wanted to let it marinate.
We wanted to marinate.
Deep in our souls.
He says, so there is a curse, he reveals before the two men leave him there. On the ship, Elizabeth strikes a deal with Barbossa. In exchange for leaving the city, she will give them the coin. They try and play it off cool, but she threatens to throw it overboard, and they all kind of lose their shit over that.
And you knew I was going to bring this up because I got mad during the movie. Yo, they can not die and walk underwater, so when she goes like, oh, why are they like, oh... Bro, jump in and get it, dude. Like
really?
It made me so mad, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense, does it?
It doesn't.
Like, all right, let her drop it, whatever.
But, whatever. Keep going.
Sink to the bottom and grab it. He signals to the men to set the flags and clear the port before basically just telling Elizabeth to saddle up and welcome to the Black Pearl. Because you ain't a pirate, I ain't taking you back. Mm-hmm. She also tells him that her name is Elizabeth Turner.
Mm-hmm. And that she's a
to
maid.
Be noted. To be noted.
She's a maid in the governor's house.
lying whore.
Oh, the next morning, Will wakes up.
The next morning, Will wakes up.
A small aluminum bottle knocked him out all night.
All night, dude. Only thing I can think of is like, as he's out, like maybe somebody came up and like kicked him in the back of the head. Or he like started to get up and then a horse like gave him one of those and he went back to
Or
sleep.
they drugged him, gave him some fucking date rape shit, and then...
Maybe, dude.
I don't know, but there's
In his booty hole.
no excuse for you. Whoa. No excuse for you sleeping that long.
He goes over to the commandant and the governor and tells them they took Elizabeth and we need to find the Black Pearl. They basically shrug him off because he's only a blacksmith. I'm just a blacksmith. Nobody knows where the Black Pearl docks. Nobody but Jack Sparrow.
I would have thumped him though, dude. Like, you know how long it takes to like make maps back in those days?
Oh, dude!
And he puts an axe right in the middle of it, dude. I'd be heated.
Oh man, he probably makes maps though for him. You think blacksmith maybe? I don't know.
Who knows? All I know is it was disrespectful.
Disrespectful. Seeing as how the pirates didn't release him, they assume he has no allegiance to them, and they write that off as well. But Orlando Bloom doesn't listen to him. He confronts Jack Sparrow, asking if he knows where the Black Pearl is. He says the ship makes berth on an island that cannot be found except by those who have already been there. So he proposes that he helps rescue Elizabeth in exchange for releasing him. He built the doors, and he knows that a little pressure will lift him right off. Big flaw.
But yeah,
In
a prison.
Big flaw in a prison?
Yeah. So you're saying, we've been pushing these doors like, let us out. If we would have lifted, we would have been free? Yeah, that's what we're saying.
So they strike a deal and it's off. Off to commandeer a ship. They decide on the Interceptor, I believe. They snag a
robot.
That's a typo. That's a typo. It's rowboat, but my typo says robot. They snag a robot and take over the world.
Why didn't they ride the robots to Isla de Muerta?
And they snag a rowboat and walk underneath the ocean in a super dope scene where the air pocket is sitting in the top of the rowboat. And it's like, this is either madness or genius. And it's crazy how often those two are.
I feel like I'm just like in my head, I'm like, is that a real thing? Could that happen? Because it seems really cool. It seems really cool.
Yeah, no, that'd work. Hypothetically. I don't want to try it.
I don't want to try it.
But yeah, hypothetically that could work.
Bet.
They climb aboard the ship, the Dauntless, the big one off the corner, and take it hostage, but they're laughed at because a crew of 2 men will never be able to sail this ship. And he's just like, dude, I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. Get the fuck off my ship, dude. Now. So they do. They row back, and then they wave at the Commodore, and they're like, they're taking the ship. And they see that it's Jack and Will Turner, and they're like, man, that's too rash, man. We're going to come get it from you now. They sail over to him, climb up, and Norrington tells the men to search every cabin, but it's too late because Jack Sparrow...
They already swung over.
Well, swung over to the Interceptor.
Thanks for getting it ready for us, boys.
Noted that when they're looking at him on the Dauntless, Norrington once again is like, that is the worst pirate I have ever seen. It's so they swing over to the Interceptor and sail off, and they're like, all right, well, turn the ship around and we'll never catch it. It's like, I just want to be able to be in firing range. We don't need to catch it. I'd rather see it at the bottom of the ocean than in the hands of a pirate. However,
disable the rudder chain.
The rudder chain is disabled. That's so cool, dude.
Didn't they crack the mast too? Because doesn't the mast like fall right as they're sitting there talking? Yeah, okay.
Something like that, yeah. Norrington watches them both sail away as his second in command says, that has got to be the best pirate I've ever seen. And the scene ends with him saying, and so it would seem. I love it. It's so funny.
You almost just need to like make a TikTok of that, and then when it goes back to Jack and he's got his gun on his shoulder, the shades and the bling goes on and it just says Thug Life.
And the little joint.
Yeah, the little joint, yeah, absolutely. That needs to happen.
It's so funny. They're off to Tortuga though, because they gotta find a crew.
Good old Tortuga.
Jack, when they get there, Jack is slapped across the face by Scarlet, who he calls Giselle, earning him a second slap from Scarlet.
Or Giselle. I don't know.
Is it a bird or is that your son?
Probably my son. No. He's probably watching something downstairs.
Alright. Back on the Black Pearl, Elizabeth is told that she is to have dinner with the captain in his fancy dress, or she can have dinner with the crew naked.
Yeah.
Again, 17.
Oh shit! I don't know why I got excited there then.
This is getting dark. It's here that we learn about the gold pieces. 882 pieces of Cortez's cursed Aztec gold. Once a piece is taken from the stone chest, the crew will be cursed until each piece has made its way back. And every piece has been accounted for but one, which we will now refer to as the One Piece.
Hey, great show, by the way. Y'all should watch it.
I thought we just agreed on the bling. The bling.
No, we're going to call it the One Piece from now
It
on.
just hit me. I saw One Piece and I was like, oh, we gotta
The
call
One
it One
Piece.
I didn't even think about that. It's the fucking One Piece. Alright. Yeah.
However, they can't kill Elizabeth because they need her blood in returning the final piece to the chest and breaking the curse. But startled by this news of the sacrifice, she sneaks a knife off of the table and makes a break for the door. Stabs Barbosa and bails out the door, revealing a ghastly, haunted crew of skeletons. It's
Big old scary boys.
and it does not hold up well anymore. It's
Oh, dude, when I was 11, it was scary.
Oh yeah, it was fine when I was young. But watching it now, I'm like, wow, this looks really bad. I mean, it's cool. She's like dancing around them or whatever, and they're like singing and whipping her in the air with like the tarp.
Dude, that fucking, what was it, Kingdom Hearts 2, where they had that level where you fucking went to the Port Royal and shit like that. Oh my god, dude, that was fucking
I
awful.
was like, I hated it in the third one because you start on a ship and they make you navigate it.
I know! That was like the worst part. Everyone's like, I love that one. I fucking hated
I really
it.
did like that part of that. It was different. I don't know.
I didn't like
Because Tyson would always be like, I want to go to the pirate world. And we'd get there, and then he'd be like, help me for the next 40 minutes. And I'm like, oh, you were playing. Go back to Toy Story where you know how to beat everybody.
She backtracks into the cabin again where she bumps into Barbosa, takes a couple steps forward and reveals himself as a skeleton as well. You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one.
Oh, the
Dope line.
chills.
That was in
Don't
the
lie.
fucking, why can't I think of the word? The commercial for it.
Yeah. The trailer.
Trailer, yeah.
When I first watched it, I was like, what? So bold and controversial. I need to see this
Pirate
movie.
ghosts in a Disney movie. Let's do this.
So back to Jack and Will. We have a crew together now. It's a misfit group of people for sure. We have a little short guy. That's not the dude from Austin Powers. Noted.
Also not Wee Man. Got it.
I don't know why for most of my childhood I was like, yeah, that's definitely Mini-Me.
Or the dude from Game of Thrones.
Or that guy. It's also not Flitwick from Harry Potter.
Also wasn't Wee Man.
No. Not the famous TikTok guy either with the little drip. Where he cannonballs into the lake.
Love him.
When Jack gets to Anna Maria, played by Zoe Saldana, which I didn't know, he's once again slapped for stealing her boat. I definitely deserved that one. After promising her the interceptor, the crew makes their way onto the ship, sailing through a storm, trying to catch up to the Black Pearl, essentially.
He does say that we are gaining on them.
We are. We're following a compass that doesn't work, though.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Whatever.
We do get some funny dialogue here with Gibbs and Will Turner where they're like revealing kind of Jack Sparrow's past. He was stranded on an island by his former crewmates after they mutineered. He stood in the water for 3 days and 3 nights until he was able to rope sea turtles and escape. and naturally,
What do you use for rope? Mostly hair from my back.
it was human hair from my back.
Oh.
So stupid. They do catch up to the Pearl outside the cave. Jack tells the crewmates to stick to the code because him and Will will be heading in. Inside, we figure out that the code is basically if you're left behind, you get left behind. So don't fall behind.
Fall behind, you get left behind.
Essentially, yeah. Inside the cave, the ritual consists of covering the final piece of gold in blood and dropping it back into the chest.
But we're still cutting that part of the video because I spilled water on myself, so don't care.
Oh no, that's going to be the 30-second
That's going to be the 30-second clip.
promo clip.
Because my face and everything, it's like, oh, God. Continue, sir.
But when the piece is covered in blood and dropped in, nothing happens.
Barbosa pulls a dick move and shoots somebody to make sure it works.
Oh, you're gonna say pulls his dick out? Like that definitely didn't happen, but
That's in the.
This is a Disney movie.
That's in the X-rated version that does exist.
Oh yeah, it's just Pirates, I think is what it's called.
Yep.
Don't ask me how I know. Anyway, Will uses an oar to knock out Jack Sparrow because earlier we realized that he plans on using him as leverage for the Black Pearl because he's the son of Bootstrap Bill Turner and Barbossa's going to need him. We don't know why yet, though. But he knocks Jack Sparrow out with the oar, saying, sorry, I'm not going to be your leverage. Basically, we're confused as to why the ritual didn't work. It's revealed that Elizabeth is actually Elizabeth Swan, not Elizabeth Turner. We need the blood of Bootstrap Bill Turner, and she's not it. So he just bitch slaps her off of the side. Dude, he does, dude. He gives it to her, man. Orlando Bloom swims up and basically covers her mouth so she doesn't scream, and they sneak off together. She grabs the one piece. And
and now he's the king of pirates.
he's the king of pirates. Pretty much. I mean, we'll see.
one piece to rule them all.
Sorry, Luffy.
By the time Barbossa notices that they're gone, they've already left the cave. But a staggered Jack Sparrow wakes up and he's discovered by all of the other guys. So he calls for a parlay, but in the funniest way, he's like,
Parsnip?
Parsnip?
Parsley?
Parlay? That's the one. It's funny. Real funny. It's Johnny Depp. You just can't do it without him.
I
It's
love
so
Johnny
funny.
Depp.
Will and Elizabeth get back to the ship. They tell the crew that Jack fell behind. And to stick to the code, they'll sail onward. Will and Elizabeth have a good conversation below deck where I presume he told her Jack's plan. And she kind of fills him in. She took his name to protect him, and she gives him the one piece back, and he's like, why'd you take this? I was like, I was afraid you were a pirate, dude. I don't want you to be the pirate king. Are you kidding me? He bandages up her hand, and let me tell you again.
Yeah.
Thick, heated sexual tension here.
Slurping noises.
Somebody's
She's like, ow. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then she's like, no, I like it.
Harder.
Sorry, rough black. He says rough blacksmith hands, and he's like, don't stop.
Yeah.
She's like, don't stop.
Tie that bandage tighter, daddy.
I'm like, girl, you are 17.
Dude, he was probably...
Imagine Orlando Bloom being like...
Can you imagine filming that?
He's taking deep breaths, all right, be sexual with this 17-year-old.
No, this is... Okay, because if I was the director, this is what I absolutely would do, especially before the kiss scene. All right, Orlando, we're ready. Hey, where's the miner at for the kiss scene? Yep, bring her in. I would say that to make everybody in the room uncomfortable.
Pops outside the door.
Right.
So basically back on the Black Pearl, Jack tells Barbossa that he knows whose blood they need, and in exchange, he'll give him the name in exchange for the Black Pearl and leave him on an island. He's like, nah, dude, how about I just pop up to this ship and kill everybody? Like, how's that sound? And he's like, counter offer. How about I go over there and try to get your one piece back? And he's like, nah, dude, I'll just kill them all. That's your problem. Too much democracy. I do like Zoe Saldana and Keira Knightley in this part where they're like, this is the fastest ship in the Caribbean. They'll never catch us. Like, you tell them that when they're up here.
Yeah. Also, I like it's like when people are on the Black Pearl, it's all nice and peaceful and calm. But whenever it's chasing something and you don't see what's going on, it's always smoke and clouds following it. I think it's cool, but I'm like, it wasn't like that when Gibbs was running the steering wheel.
I think that's the curse, honestly.
Well, yeah,
So when it's not ran by a cursed crew anymore, I don't think it smokes like that.
Well, it's badass, but it also is upsetting.
It needs to quit smoking.
It's bad. It's bad. Smoking's bad.
Smoking a little too much.
The crew of the Interceptor begins to lighten the load by throwing overboard anything they don't need to outrun the Black Pearl for long enough. Another typo, it says the Black Prayer, which is kind of true, okay. Though once the Pearl continues to gain, they realize they have to fight with anything they have left, and can be loaded into the cannon's silverware.
Namely forks.
Flasks, yeah. Anything that'll stuff in there. This is a dope scene because Elizabeth calls to lower the anchor on the right side, which they do, and whips them around like in like a Jack Sparrow fashion. It's dope. It's dope.
I remember that part.
It basically spins them around real quick, so now both ships are side by side.
Bang, bang.
They start lighting each other up, dude. Like
Bang, bang.
blowing holes. Like one of them blows a hole right in front of Jack Sparrow.
Stop blowing holes in my ship!
That's so funny.
I love that.
He finds the flask. It's empty, but he notices the door is blown open, so he bails out of the prison cell. Back on the Interceptor, Will heads down to the bottom level to get the medallion. As soon as he gets down there, though, he's trapped as the water begins to rise. Not good. Where are we at? Now free from the brig, Jack Sparrow swings over to the Interceptor to find Elizabeth. Kind of saves her from being smacked again. She gets smacked a lot.
She doesn't get smacked.
She gets smacked a lot. Even that big dude with the bumps on his face.
Yeah.
Like when she first gets there, she's like, I demand to have silence.
Dude. Yeah,
How many times are you going to slap a 17-year-old before you feel tough?
They really did not give two fucks
They're
back
like pointing
then.
out like, oh, it's bad luck to have girls on ships. I'm like, it's probably just because you guys are used to not having girls in there so you can kiss each other. Now there are girls there, you can't kiss each other. Yeah.
What else are you gonna smack around?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Elizabeth makes her way over to try and get Will out, but the door won't budge, and she is soon after scooped up and taken back over to the Black Pearl. They dump some gunpowder over to the barrels of alcohol and gunpowder, I presume.
The rum.
Light them on fire, and then they watch from the Black Pearl as the Interceptor explodes. The monkey is taking the one piece. They named the monkey Jack. It's cute. A real cute monkey for now.
You know, it's not
When it's not a zombie monkey. They watch as the Interceptor explodes, thinking the worst for Will. And this part is rough. Elizabeth is given to the crew of the Black Pearl to return the hospitality that she was given, which I can only imagine means horrible, horrible things. 17 years old, boys, calm down.
They running a train.
Technically not illegal though. It's international waters.
Well, that's horrible.
It was also like the
You
fucking
can also kill people in
1700s.
international waters. I'm just saying.
That's true. But it's interrupted by Will climbing up the side of the ship and demanding that Elizabeth goes free in exchange for his life because he is the son of Bootstrap Bill Turner and he is the blood that they need. And I like this part because he's like, all right, what do you want? And he's like, she goes free. He's like, I got that. What else
Thank
do
you,
you
Captain
want?
Obvious.
And I like that Jack Sparrow's like pointing at he's like, the crew, they're not to be harmed either. They accept the deal, and
Barbossa screws them over
Yeah.
as he does on every deal that ever gets made.
I mean, yes, but he still kind of kept. He didn't harm the crew, and he let Elizabeth go free. So the next scene, he's forcing her up onto the plank, and he's basically going to force her off, and he's like, "You bastard, we had a deal." And he's like, "Keep in mind of the deal. You said set her free. You didn't say where or when."
Just like in all upcoming movies, when you make a deal with Barbossa, have a lawyer, have him sit down, and have him just write in some like small print because he's been known to do this.
I guess. Forces Elizabeth to take off the dress because waste not. Why waste something so beautiful? Give me the dress. Mean.
So
Mean,
you
dude.
could have his other boys wear it on the ship when she's gone.
Those two, the one with the eye.
Yep.
Oh.
The one that the fork gets stuck in.
Oh.
Never mind. I was like, oh, no.
Elizabeth and Jack are forced to walk the plank just outside of the island where Jack was left years earlier. The two will have to make their way onto the island to survive. And on this island, it's revealed that Jack was only there for 3 days before a trade route ship found him and he was able to escape. Luckily, being marooned on this island won't suck completely because there is hidden rum, of course.
And a 17-year-old.
And a 17-year-old. Fresh, hot 17-year-old. Sliced up right for you. Here we go. And I mean, it's lucky that the sexual tension is so thick, too. That helps. They enjoy almost 2 full bottles of rum as they sing and dance.
Can we just start the whole thing over and not say that she's 17 ever?
I mean,
so bad.
Oh, boy.
They could have cast someone else.
Stupid
They
directors.
could have done it easily, but they didn't.
So the next morning, Jack wakes up to a giant fire and billowing smoke. The trees and a bunch of barrels are on fire. Elizabeth has taken all the rum, food, and supplies and set fire to them. As the trees set fire to the trees in an attempt to signal the royal ships. But why is the rum gone?
Why is the rum gone?
Also, another famous line from this movie.
Yep, my
Why is the
grandpa
rum
used to
gone?
love saying that to me when I would drink all of his rum when I was a kid.
Dude, when she says she burned all the rum, and he like goes to pull the gun out, and he's like thinking about shooting her.
Let's be
I die
careful
every
for you,
time.
Jack.
dude.
Well, it bloody is now.
Oh, I die every time when he's like,
Yeah, when you're in a shitty situation like that and you're like, man, I want to fucking drink. And this bitch, I burned it all.
But it works. Captain Jack pops over the hill and sees all of the Port Royal ships coming, saying there will be no living with her after this. She was right. So, back on Norrington's ship, Elizabeth obviously wants to go and save Will. However, her dad says no. There is no time to be gallanting after pirates, after all.
Also, you have school because you're 17.
Because you're 17. You're starting your junior year of high school.
I know you want to marry the Commodore, but you got to graduate first.
To which she requests that Will's rescue be a wedding gift. Indirectly agreeing to the Commodore's marriage proposal. Great. Because that's right. Everybody knows that the foundations of a strong marriage rely solely on you asking your new husband if he'll rescue your sexual interest. Back on the Pearl. Please, I swear, save my side piece and we'll get it on. I promise.
I won't cheat on you, I swear.
I just don't want him to die and bring him also to live near
But,
me.
like, look at how hot he is. Back on the Pearl, the crew tells Will about how Bootstrap never felt right about the mutiny against Jack Sparrow, and for that he sent a piece of gold off with his young son Will, and that act was rewarded with death. They tied a can into his bootstraps and
Bootstraps.
dropped him into the ocean. The ironic part was they didn't know that they would need his blood to undo the ceremony before that.
Obviously, we get into this later, but the dude couldn't die. This is when the curse happened. The dude couldn't die, so he's at the bottom of the ocean, strapped to a cannon, and could not die.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Terrible.
maybe we'll touch on that later. Who knows? Who knows?
Maybe I'll do
Maybe.
Maybe it'll come up.
It's all a mystery to me right now.
Who knows?
I've never seen these as of now. We've never seen the next ones. So,
Stay tuned.
Barbossa enters the brig, throws the keys at the shipmates, and tells them to bring Will because we are now outside the cave. Outside the cave, Jack plans the ambush with Norrington, says that he'll go in and convince the crew to come out on their little boats, and then you can just light them up, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have at them. I mean, they're undead and they can't die, but have at them, I guess. That's a good plan.
It's a double, quadruple, triple cross getting pulled off here.
Pretty much. Inside the cave, Barbossa prepares to set up the ritual again. This time, he's interrupted by Jack. Again, how is this possible? I'm Jack Sparrow. Spill the legend. Jack warns Barbossa that he may not want to complete the ritual until after he's dealt with the royal army outside, because they'll straight up kill you.
Yeah.
Sneaking one of the gold pieces into his sleeve, as he says it. It's slick. Now he's got the one piece. If there's a bunch of pirate kings all over the place. Barbossa tells his men to take a walk. After this, we get a super dope shot of the skeletons under the water. They're all skeletons, and then they walk under the boat, and they turn back to normal under the boat, and then turn back into skeletons when they pass the boat. It's super dope.
That's so bad.
Like
That
it
part
looks
is really crazy.
It looks a little cheesy now, obviously, but it's still a really dope
In
shot.
theaters at age 11, that was the best thing ever.
9.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was 10.
we know.
Yeah, it was 10. Next, we get after that, we learn that Elizabeth has fashioned a rope from sheets and escaped the boat in order to make her way down to another robot and heads towards the cave. Apparently, it liked robot and not rowboat.
Alright, robots it is.
We get another awesome shot of the skeletons climbing up the anchor ropes. I love that shot.
Mm-hmm.
Where they've got their knives in the mouth and they're climbing up. I love that shot. Before they engage in combat with the soldiers, back inside the cave, Jack attacks Barbossa. It's revealed now that taking that gold piece has also cursed Jack. He's like, couldn't resist, man. He steps into the moonlight and Jack Sparrow's all skeletonized. It's really dope. He had to. I don't blame him. Like, you gotta try it, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
Also, if this situation doesn't go very well for me, I don't want to die.
No.
Yeah, true.
So yeah. Basically, now they just keep fighting until Barbossa's like, "What now, dude? Two immortals locked in a battle forever." It's like, well, you could surrender. Where am I at here? From the escape boats, Norrington notices that the ship is under attack and orders the men to go and reinforce. We keep cutting back and forth here because Jack and Barbossa continue to fight as Will holds off the rest of the crewmates.
Cool that they're immortal. Sucks neither of them have any cardio.
Yeah, pretty much. Back on the Black Pearl, Elizabeth frees all of Jack's crewmates before asking for their help, but due to the code, they tell her to take a flying one, and she ends up basically like just this. It's an awesome cut. I love the cut when they're like, "You're just gonna leave him." Cuts to her rowing alone, like in the ship sailing off. He's like, "Pirates, dude!" Oh, it's so funny. And then like the joke is paid off again when one of the pirates, the wooden eye pirate, like sees him sailing off in the Black Pearl, and he's like, "I hate pirates." Oh, it's so funny. Once again inside the cave, Jack continues to fight Barbossa until he takes the coin, cuts his hand, throws it over to Will, or Will cuts his hand. Jack Sparrow throws the coin to Will. Barbossa pulls a gun on Elizabeth, who's now made her way into the cave. And we're basically in a standoff until Captain Jack Sparrow pulls the trigger, shoots Barbossa right in the heart, and he's like, "Man, after all these years, you waste your shot on an immortal guy." And Legolas is like, "Bro, he didn't waste it." And he like looks up and he drops the coin into the deal. And that breaks the curse. We basically pop open his chest and see that the blood just starts spilling out of his heart.
If it wasn't a Disney movie, it totally should have been a fucking headshot.
It should have been a headshot.
It was quite a bit of blood though for
Yeah,
a Disney movie. It like started pooling out. I was like, okay, well, it's a heart shot, but still.
Yeah.
I still think a dome shot.
This movie was PG-13, but it might have been a little harder on the PG-13.
Yeah, maybe a little harder on the 13.
There was no F-bombs.
Nope. No, there wasn't. Basically, Barbossa says that he feels cold, and then falls over, holding an apple somehow.
He's dead, homie.
Like, I don't remember him holding an apple.
He pulled
I
that.
think he was just he was holding it when he fell. So he either picked it up like after he stopped fighting Jack, or he was just holding it.
He was already
fighting
prepped
Jack.
because beforehand he had said, "You know what I'm going to do as soon as the curse lifts? I'm going to eat a whole
bushel of apples."
He was just prepped for this. I just
That's
don't know
fine,
pull it out.
but you should always carry the apple just in case, just in case the curse breaks and you're not ready. You take a quick bite.
That's what makes this sword fight so impressive is he was holding it between his butt cheeks the whole time. And was still good enough to move around and compete. And then as soon as that shot happened, he pulled it out.
I guess. So outside the cave, Jack is disappointed to see that the crew is left with his ship. It's sad. Sad boy.
Yeah, I'd be sad boy too.
He's got no choice but to return to the Dauntless to be arrested. Jack Sparrow is to be hanged. He's read his crimes. Sentences to be hanged by the neck until death.
His crimes are the best. One
What's
of
your
them's
favorite
like,
one?
he said impersonating doctor of the Church of England, and he goes, "Oh yeah," like he forgot a cleric of the Church of England.
Of the church.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah.
He like looks over at the hangman when he says it. He's like, "Oh yeah," and he's just staring. He goes, "Oh shit."
Reminds me of that scene from fucking that Ballad of Buster Scruggs with
First
James
time.
Franco, and he's like,
First
first
time.
10.
Yep.
Also one of the best memes ever.
Yeah.
First
First
time.
10.
In the crowd, Will Turner watches as he spots one of Jack's crewmates' parrots. It's a lot. He makes his way over to Elizabeth, finally confesses that he loves her, before making his way through the crowd, hurls his sword towards Jack.
Without regard to anybody that was in the crowd. They moved at the right time, but had they not,
I mean, he said move a lot.
Yeah.
Move! Out of the way! Boom! And then threw it, and that's a sick throw, because it's like right under his feet, so that he's just like balancing on it.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Jack really didn't like that trick in the beginning of the movie when he used it to lock the door on him.
Yeah.
But
I just
saved his life.
As he's like trying to remove it. Gosh, I just love Johnny Depp in this movie. The Commandant prepares to attack Will, but Elizabeth fakes that she can't breathe again and falls over. As a distraction, Will's off fighting all the guards. He releases Jack, who hops down, uses the sword to cut his binds off. And they both use this big long rope, essentially, to knock over a bunch of dudes as they're running towards
I hate that for some reason.
the edge of the castle. You don't like that?
I just don't feel like if you're over there with the rope and I'm over here with the rope, we're just going to run in a circle. Like, you're telling me these dudes didn't split up and try to come at us? They stayed right next to each other so that they could get wrapped up? Sorry.
It's a Disney movie!
I get it. There's been a few fights in my life.
They make their way towards the balcony until they're finally surrounded. Will says that his place is between Norrington and Jack Sparrow. Super dope.
Jack's like,
so handsome, dude. And a good man. I love him, dude. There's nobody like him. Elizabeth moves over to their side and says, mine as well, to which the governor obviously orders them all to put their guns away. Norrington's basically like, this is the path you're taking, huh?
Obviously.
Come on now. Jack Sparrow's like,
I want to do it as a wedding present. What did you think was going to happen?
This is awesome. This is great. I'm happy we all could make this happen. As he hops up onto the edge and he's like, may you all remember this as the day that you almost caught, and then he trips and falls over the edge.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He pops up in the water below, and we see the Black Pearl come around the mountainside, and he smiles as he begins to swim over there. Up top, the governor asks if this is really the path that Elizabeth wants to take. This man is a lowly blacksmith, after all. To which she says he's not just a blacksmith, he's a pirate. Proving that from the beginning,
She had a boner for pirates, dude.
all she wanted to do was sit on a pirate's face.
She's got a pirate fetish.
She does.
It's fine.
I said at the beginning, it's like, she's not old enough yet, so we have to wait until the plot advances older. But she's also only 17 in the rest of the movie, so it's like we still have to wait before she can sit on Will Turner's face. So the camera pans out as Queen Amidala's stunt double and Legolas make out, and that is the end of Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Until... Go ahead.
Well, when Johnny Depp gets on Black Pearl and they give him his compass and all of his stuff back, and he gets back up to the thing, and then he tells everybody to get back to work, and then he looks at the thing and he goes, now bring me that horizon. Mm-hmm. Which is where Bring Me the Horizon got their name from.
Really? I actually didn't know.
He didn't either.
So
I told him during the
I'll
movie.
jump into the facts here. I got 7 little facts for you. So Keira Knightley was only 17 when The Pirates was filmed.
No shit.
Johnny Depp was really steering the ship in the film.
Oh.
He was
really steering the ship.
Oh.
When he says that,
Oh.
Damn.
he was actually steering it. In addition to ad-libbing the popular Savvy, like his catchphrase, he ad-libbed that. Improvised. He also improvised the line, "Bring me that horizon," which he utters towards the end of the film. British metal band, Bring Me the Horizon, got their band name from one of the last lines in the film. Mm-hmm. Improvised.
No, it was improvised.
Improvise.
Their music is horrible now. By the way.
Yeah,
That's a bummer.
Some of it's not that great.
Jude Law, Ewan McGregor, Tobey Maguire, Ben Payton, and Christopher Masterson, and Christian Bale were all considered for the role of Will Turner.
I'm glad Orlando Bloom.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he was so hot from Lord of the Rings, like to the point where the trailer for this movie played in the Two Towers, like, premiere.
He's just one of those guys that, like, fits that role so, like fucking Henry Cavill as Geralt.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh my god,
I
perfect.
agree.
Like, literally perfect.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Oh, he's so funny.
It's howling.
Amanda Bynes, Jessica Alba, and Jamie Alexander were all considered for Elizabeth Swann.
I would not have been mad at Jessica Alba in 2003.
She definitely
damn.
wasn't fucking 17.
No. And
True.
this is around the time Honey came out.
True.
Ooh.
Ooh, honey. I tell you. Get this, though. Imagine any of this. This is horrible. Michael Keaton,
Oh, no.
Jim Carrey, and Christopher Walken were all considered for the role of Captain Jack.
No,
Jim Carrey's the closest, but none of them could have done it as well.
Jim Carrey would be like, well then.
You're
not getting away from me.
This would be Jim Carrey. They'd be like, all right, everybody, kill Jack Sparrow. And he'd be like, alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
I don't think I can do it, bro.
I couldn't do it. No way.
I couldn't do it, no.
No way,
There's no
man.
fucking way, dude.
That's terrible.
Holy shit.
Oh my gosh.
Alrighty.
So, in the movie, Will Turner is considered to be the best swordsman,
Could agree with that.
and Jack Sparrow is considered to be the worst. Captain Norrington and Barbossa are tied in skill level. And this is coming from the writers of the movie.
There is the part where he's fighting Barbossa where he does the thing with his hands and he runs away like this. like a fucking lobster, he's running away.
He's the best. He's the best.
Because all Barbossa did was go, ah, and he was like, ah, and then he started doing that with his hands running away. Yeah.
All right, I got some questions for you from our absentee host. Number one, do you believe there were aspects of the movie or inside adult jokes that you missed as a kid and picked up on when you were rewatching it as an adult?
Like her face says it all.
Nope.
No, because I am still a child.
Child at heart. No, there's not really a lot, honestly.
No.
There really
Not
isn't.
really.
I mean,
Maybe like the giving Elizabeth to her crew
yeah.
or whatever to return the hospitality.
Most of
Yeah.
it, even as a kid, I knew what was going on. Because like, oh, or you'll be dining with the
Oh,
crew
they gonna
naked.
fuck her. Ooh,
You'll be dining with the crew naked.
Yeah.
Even as a kid, I was like, whoa, that's not good.
That's not good.
That's not good.
This bitch gonna get ran train. Oh no.
Mike, the Matador, Mike Otamendi, question number 2. In your opinions, was the comic relief of Pintel and Ragetti, the two dumb pirates, appreciated by you as the viewer, or did you think it was ridiculous and took away from the dark / mysterious nature of the Black Pearl villains?
I like
That
it.
was funny.
And it carries.
So in a movie where Johnny Depp is being Johnny Depp, I don't think it took away too much from me. I'm like,
No.
I think
It's got its dark parts, but it's also got
I'm
its
excited
light
to talk about the next ones because I think it does get to be too much for me as they keep coming back. But as of right now,
The other ones.
what's that?
I said I have to watch the other ones.
Yeah, I haven't watched them in so long either. I'm excited to.
parts. We watched Dead Man's Chest tonight.
Tonight.
But yeah, no, in this movie it wasn't too much for me anyway. Number 3, he's got 5 for us. Does the CGI / animation still hold up today, or was it cheesier than you remembered?
It's
It is
decent.
cheesier.
It's decent, but it's
cheesier than I remember.
we've come so far that it's different, but it's still
Yeah.
for its time it was cutting edge.
It was cool for its time, but it's hard to compare anything from that time in CGI except for Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Is pretty much
But
probably.
that was like
It was they were animatronics.
animatronics and stuff
mixed,
like that.
mixed with CGI, but it was the first movie that had an entirely computer-generated Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
and
At
here's the
one
thing too
point,
is
when he's in the field with the
I
Gallimimus.
think it was 2016 or 2017 the last Pirates movie came out,
Right.
and it's got the dude from No Country for Old Men, the serial killer dude.
Yeah.
He plays like the villain in this one,
Right.
And him and his crew are basically not zombies, but they're like decaying pirates,
Right.
And I would still say that they're similar in how they look.
I'd be excited to see it. Question number 4. What is your favorite moment from this movie?
It's gotta be the very last thing to do. It's gotta be Bring Me That Horizon. That's gotta be my favorite part. I love that.
That's pretty cool. I mean,
I do really like the part, like, even though we were just shit talking the CGI, I do that part, like, where it shows, like, all the pirates, like, walking under the water.
Under the water. That's what I was gonna pick too.
It's gotta be that. It's gotta be.
It's
really cool.
not awesome CGI, but just the way that it incorporates the shadow from the boat.
Well, it's also the score that goes with it of them. Like, like you hear the footsteps and there's music with it.
Yeah,
dude. And the score for this movie, having just like one score, but just like going hard on it for like every. Oh, it was so. Oh, dude. It's like one main.
We're gonna pirate to one song and one song only.
Take what you can.
Give nothing back.
Number 5. Do you think any other actor could do justice to Jack Sparrow?
No.
Or do you think Johnny Depp carried that franchise?
No,
He absolutely did.
Yeah, on one of our episodes, we were talking about irreplaceable actors, and he's one of them.
Yeah.
I honestly, like,
It's just like nobody else could play Iron Man besides
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I was like, why can't I think of his name? Dick move on my part. Yeah, nobody else play Iron Man besides him.
Yeah, very true. Robert Downey Jr.'s just got that fucking, like, attitude. Like, he's just like...
So, fun fact, I didn't put it in the facts, but it is a fact that they wrote the role of Jack Sparrow with Hugh Jackman in mind. Like, they wrote it for him.
Huh.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's apparently a true fact, so...
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because honestly,
I love Hugh Jackman,
honestly,
though.
he sucked in Les Mis too. So
But Hugh Jackman is Wolverine to me, though.
True.
So.
True.
oh, again, one of those actors you just don't.
It's
hard to
even if
replace.
he was in Pirates, I'd still be like, well, it's Wolverine.
What's Wolverine doing on a pirate ship?
Right. When he sink to the
I
bottom
know
of the
he lived
ocean,
for a long time,
he
but...
got so much metal in his body, he just sink to the bottom of the ocean. Come on.
Yeah, like, and then, like, if he would have, like, taken the coin and everything, like, the part where Jack turns into a skeleton, it would just all be, like, adamantium.
I was like, plot twist, he's not made of adamantium, he's made of cursed pirate gold.
Aztec gold.
Aztec gold.
All right, and then Mike just asked that I would kind of give his thoughts here before we end the show. Things that he wished they would have added, a little foreshadowing and better set up to the sequel. There was no talk of Davy Jones or any other pirate curses, but I get it. Movie producers didn't know if there was going to be...
They say Davy Jones' locker once in the movie.
Yeah.
But they don't.
They didn't know if it was going to be a series. Like they planned this movie as a standalone because they had no idea. And that's the reason. And Mike says it here. He's like, he understands that they didn't know depending on how successful it would be. Mm-hmm. But he still appreciates them setting up things for the future. And 2, a bit more backstory of the Curse of the Black Pearl. They basically just talked about it in the gold for about 10 seconds and expected everybody to be in the loop.
Bet.
Overall, there are very few critiques since I believe this movie is an all-time classic and one of my favorites. Overall, I'd give it 8.5 out of 10. I'll go ahead and give the series a 9 out of 10 if we're talking about 1 through 3. As far as entertainment goes, this series hits the mark. I'll be excited to yell at him next week when he's back. So
Give him spankings.
We didn't care what he was saying. Michaela was looking for chickens.
No, I'm looking for the ducks,
Just
dude. I love those ducks. They're just...
So here's what Mike
I
had to
love
say.
ducks so much.
give me the ducks, both.
Bro, ducks are like my favorite animal. They're so fucking cute. And then that one time we came here and those fucking ducks were just like running. Oh my god, dude. That was like the best day of my life.
Got any grapes?
Got any grapes?
And they're the white fluffy ones too. Oh my god. This is perfect.
It's like your love for these ducks are like Elizabeth Swan's love for just pirates at an underage age.
Hey, I am not sexually attracted to
Dirty
ducks,
old people.
okay? That's weird.
I'm gonna find you a sexy duck picture next.
No, they got screwdriver dicks, dude. No way. Fuck that. Ugh.
I'm not one to judge.
Hey, this has been Velocity Movies and Review.
This has been Velocity Movies and Review.
Corkscrew dick ducks, and we're out.
Google it.
I know it's a fact. Just didn't need to rehear it.
As of right now, Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl is sitting at number 1 because there's no other movies to go up against it yet.
Curse of the Quack Pearl.
Curse of the Quack Pearl. Good lord. And just reboot.
I'll see myself.
Please do. Tune in next week for Dead Man's Chest. Mike should hopefully be back, and we will decide where we like that one in comparison to the first one. So remember, at the end of the series, we do have a prize for you guys. It's not here yet, so I'm going to wait to announce what it is, but it's real cool. You're going to love it.
It is real cool.
Follow us on Facebook for updates about this podcast as well as the other two. And tune in next week. And also give us your thoughts on these movies. What do you think of Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl? We want to know. Until then, have a good week, guys, and we'll see you next week.